going to tell you, in my cranky Yankee way, why you should be the main author of the Declaration of Independence, okay? Reason first, you are a Virginian, and a Virginian ought to be at the head of this business. Reason second, I'm obnoxious, suspected, and unpopular. You're much otherwise. Reason third, you can write 10 times better than I can. Now Jefferson, I don't know what he says to that, but it's something polite, because you are a polite Virginia gentleman. He says, well, if you are so resigned, I shall do my best. And he finds a house on 1 block away, and there's a family there that says they will rent him 2 rooms, and he can hunker down there and start writing. And it just starts coming out. And between Franklin, Adams, and 2 other guys, they visit you once in a while. How's it coming, Tom? Pretty good. This is what I got so far. Why don't you look it over? Oh, I like this. I don't know. Do you think we should change this a little bit? Okay, let's change that a little bit. All right, let's print another draft because it's a lot easier to work off a printed surface than something that's been scribbled on all over the place. All right, we'll print a draft. And they get a couple of drafts, and after 17 days, they get the final product. And even though it's submitted to Congress, Congress changes it all over the place. And Jefferson says, what did you just do to my document? You just ruined it. I don't even recognize it anymore. That's not my stuff. So that is a truth, but he still takes claim for it, and the country gives him claim for it. So he is the main author of the Declaration of Independence, but technically it's in committee. Now the second quote is going to come from the bottom paragraph in there, which is not anything from Jefferson. It is a proposition made in the previous month, which would be June, right? So this quote is what I consider a visceral gut punch about, wow, this is a powerful moment in words that say the following. That these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, and that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
Here, here.
Boom.
Line in the sand. We're not following George anymore. We're following our George, not your George. And that's it. We're going to make a complete break, even if we have to fight for it. So now we're underway. George has already gotten the British out of Boston, and they hang out in New York City for the rest of the war. That's their main headquarters. They never really leave until 1783 when the peace comes from Paris, France.
What they don't really necessarily teach so well is that we then had about a 10-year period before they moved to DC. So we've won the war, we have our own country, we have a US Constitution, we have basically the whole federal government, but they haven't moved to DC yet. They need to get DC ready. They needed to build, roads and houses and buildings and stuff. And so at that time, we still had the 3 branches of government. Now the executive branch of the president was right around where you go into security for the bell. You can see some exhibits about that. The legislative branch with Congress was over in what we call Congress Hall, the building at that far end. And here, from 1791 to 1800, is where they had the US Supreme Court.
Death! Yeah, they're gonna hang them. That's the Continental Association right there. So most of these guys, yes. And most of these guys will go on and sign the Declaration of Independence. All the 13 colonies there. You won't find Georgia there. Nobody from Georgia made it in time. That's our most southern colony at the time. They didn't make it in time. So what they did for a piece of business was they sent a message back to England, the King and Parliament, that said, if you don't repeal the coercive acts, then we're going to boycott all British goods. Well, that's what happened. They did not repeal the coercive acts, and we boycotted all British goods, which made a little dent in the economy, but it sent a big message. We are just about ready to fight. Benjamin Franklin gets reamed out by the Privy Council and Parliament.
I state your name.
I, Shadrach,
Am proud to be a National Park Service
the National Park Service
Junior Ranger.
Senior Ranger.
I promise
I promise
to explore and learn about
to explore and learn about
a country's history,
my country's history,
to tell other people
to tell other people
about what I've learned,
about what I've learned,
and most importantly of all,
and most importantly of all,
I promise
I promise
to have fun.
to have fun.
High five. Well done. Here are y'all's books.
jalapenos, hot pepper cabbage. How are you doing, sir?
How are you doing?
Good. This is the Old South Meeting House that we're going to. The street we're on is called Washington Street. It was called Cornell Street before Boston was liberated. When it was liberated, this is the street that Washington rode in on after it was liberated. Hence the name Washington. The USS Constitution.
That talks about Fenwell. 1987.
Under the order of President George Washington.
Wow, George Washington commissioned this. And it was in 33 battles.
33 battles.
And survived.
Yep. Everything's, I'd say it's about 98% wood. Of course, you have some copper fittings, a little bit of metal here and there, but all the big beams, all the side, the hull, all of that is all wood. Live oak and white oak is mostly what it's made out of.
How long did it take to make?
2 years.
2 years.
No, not too sure. A lot.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anybody?
This was built in 1997.
That's cool.
So got the stuff on the
All right, gang, come on.
Real quick.
Hardly.
This wooden ship was in 33 battles. What do you think about this ship, Levi? Pretty amazing. What?
Thing on the wall so you can see how much you're healing. They had some of it upstairs.
Repeat after me. As a junior ranger, I promise to protect and preserve natural and cultural resources, to keep visiting my parks, to keep learning, and teach others what I learned. Okay, congratulations. Here are your badges.
No, we're not.
3, 2, 1.
Movie star, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I know this angle. Showing off. On, right? See? Oh, no.
You never said resume.
Don't take my picture. How about this? How about now?
You like it, Lucas?
3.
No, maybe their lips.
We're very familiar with this area. The TD Garden, the Converse.
The garden. We had a good lobster roll. Lobster.
Now we're in the car. I'm wondering if I should get over one more. Probably, if you'd rather go left. Oh.
When you grow up, it's human beings and take pictures of you. You in the window.
I haven't even gone 45.
Reduce your speed, please.
Through traffic. Next left. Keep left. We're going through a tunnel, boys. Heads up, Jen. Whoop.
Whee!
You? No.
What was like that? Imagine that.
Batman. We're in a tunnel underneath Boston, the city of Boston. Is this the Big Dig?
This is the Big Dig.
Yes.
Most expensive. Everybody lean to the left.
What was it, 20 billion?
Billions of dollars over budget. Sounds like Congress. It's not my money, let's just spend it. Ironically, in the town that protested government spending without representation. I believe that's the name of the church. Oh man, just
Please save it for the monument.
I believe that's the name of the church. Oh man, just
Please save it for the monument.
okay, look at that guy.
He's a big shit. He's a big shit. Really?
No, you don't get
Ooh, just hold on. Knock it off. Tink.
Hey, mommy.
I think we're going this way, guys. Well, I guess we can maybe look there. Let's see.
This is a Plymouth grist mill built by the Pilgrims.
I think we're going this way, guys. Well, I guess we can maybe look there. Let's see.
This is a Plymouth grist mill built by the Pilgrims.
Brian.
Sickling us all.
Jack, no. Here, you come. Jeez.
Oh yeah, we are totally stopping.
Oh, okay.
I think I have to park over there.
But if it's one way.
Yeah, do I go? Can I park there?
Buzz fingers. Or
I
no?
don't know.
I think they did.
We're finally here. You know how many years we've been wanting to come here? Like 9 years.
Hold on. Yeah, they fixed his thing. Wait, or no.
National monument to the forefathers, erected by a grateful people in remembrance of their labors, sacrifices, and sufferings for the cause of civil and religious liberty. Sampson, Carter, Rogers.
Or English.
We're at Plymouth. This is where they landed. Who's that? This is the Mayflower. Okay, Mayflower 2. Wow, that's awesome, huh? Cape Cod area. Actually, that's more this way. Cape Cod.
I know, it's gonna be nice to sit down. Don said he's gonna give us foot massages. Oh!
Wow. Don who? Don Ho. What?
And I have to be honest, when most of them show up, they are somewhat underwhelming. But if you know some of the stories, it makes it better. In the 1700s, the town of Plymouth was going to build a pier over that rock. The elder of the church, Elder Fons, walked 3 miles to say goodbye to Plymouth Rock. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but keep in mind, Elder Fons was 95 years old when he walked those 3 miles. Poor man reached the rock, he had tears in his eyes. Folks in town looked at him and said, "Hey, Elder Fons, what's the big deal? It's a rock." He said, "Oh no, that's not a rock. That's the rock. That's where the pilgrims stepped when they got off the Mayflower." Folks looked at him again and said, "How do you know that?" He said, "For crying out loud, I'm 95 years old. I knew them. They told me that." He was such a man of high character and integrity, everybody believed him. We never built a pier. I, for one, also believe him. I do believe that's where the pilgrims stepped when they got off the Mayflower. However, I will assume most of you will probably agree with me. They must have got out in single file. Did you notice the crack in the rock?
Yes.
That happened during the Revolutionary War.
Oh, wow.
During the Revolution, the men in Plymouth, we didn't want to go to war. So how are you going to get us clowns to sign up? Here's the deal. We're going to take Plymouth Rock, put it in the back of a wagon, bring it up to Town Square, put it next to the Liberty Pole, get the men to rally around the rock and Liberty Pole, sign up and go to war. Not a bad idea. Well, they put the rock in the wagon. On the way to Town Square, nobody was touching Plymouth Rock. It snapped in half. Guy in the wagon looks and says, "Wow, the rock split. That must be an omen. That means we should split from England." So they left half the rock on the beach, called it the British half, took the other half to Town Square, called it the American half. All the men rallied around the American half, signed up, and went off to war.
Wow.
Yeah, you see the big half right there? American half. Look, guys, I do poke fun at the rock, but for us in Plymouth, the size is more the symbolism. On our 300th anniversary, a young man came to Plymouth and made this statement about Plymouth Rock. He said, "Plymouth Rock does not mark a beginning or an end. It marks a revelation that is without beginning and without end. A purpose, shining through eternity like a resplendent light, undimmed even by the imperfections of men. A response, a purposeful answer from those who, oblivious to all else, were simply searching for an avenue for the immortal soul." That young man, John Calvin Coolidge, at the time governor of Massachusetts, eventually president of the United States. So guys, when you all go home next week and Jeopardy comes up, history, who's the only president to be named after John Calvin? That would be Calvin Coolidge.
This is what Jerry's from. Yeah.
At least you got like.
Oh, hey, what is that?
What the heck is this? A giant red box. What is this word?
You guys, don't you know what that is? It says telephone. Hello.
Telephone. 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 Wait, hold on. Oh, phone. What is this? Telephone. It says telephone on the top.
You guys. Yeah, it's a telephone. It's a telephone booth. It's called a telephone booth.
It was dedicated August 1st, 1889. Mm-hmm.